Good afternoon. The Lokpal Bill has been tabled in Parliament, but has the battle only just begun? Anna Hazare's team has rubbished the bill, in fact called it worse than the bill drafted by the government earlier this year in August. Now, many parliamentarians are saying, leave it to Parliament. Many of the main opposition parties have also strongly criticized the bill, the BJP being the chief among them, saying that they plan to introduce a number of amendments. Anna Hazare, however, is adamant to go on his agitation as scheduled from next week, following it up with a Jail Bharo Andolan. How will this end game of the Lokpal battle play out? Joining us now is somebody who many believe is the chief architect of the Anna Hazare campaign, the main brain behind the campaign, a very prominent leader of the Anna Hazare campaign, Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind, let me start by asking you this very harsh statement that the bill is even worse than the one presented by the government in August. Why do you say that? Because just looking at some of the changes, for example, there is an inclusion of the Prime Minister, which the Standing Committee had not included. There is an independent mechanism for the appointment of the CBI Director. And this is a long battle that you all have been fighting. Why do you think the bill is worse?
Firstly, the sanction for prosecution was already not there in the
Standing Committee bill.
No, in the August
and even in
bill,
the earlier one.
August
Yes.
bill.
Yeah.
There are two things. One is jurisdiction, the other is powers. And many times in these debates, we mix up these two things. What jurisdiction should Lokpal have? There was a debate on that, Group C, ND, PM, etc. etc.
Yeah.
That was a debate of jurisdiction. Whose corruption should Lokpal be able to investigate?
Yeah.
Now, in August bill, there was a clause, which I would say the soul of this, that Lokpal will have its own investigative machinery to investigate those corruption charges. Now, they have taken away the power to investigate. So, practically all the investigations which the Lokpal wants to be done, Lokpal can't do. You are creating an anti-corruption agency which does not have any investigation powers.
What about the fact that the CBI has to get its closure reports vetted by the Lokpal on cases referred to it by the Lokpal?
It doesn't mean anything. If you ask, I was speaking to Prashant in great detail, he said it doesn't mean anything.
Why?
You see, because CBI or any other agency, it's not just CBI that they're talking of, they're saying CBI or any other government agency, Lokpal can refer its investigation, that agency will give its report, and Lokpal will just see that evidence, whether that evidence is sufficient to take it to the court. So that is the only discretion, little discretion that Lokpal has, that if the evidence is not sufficient, they will close the case there. If the evidence is sufficient, they take it to the court and file a prosecution or a charge sheet in the court of law. So all that what was required was an independent investigative agency directly under Lokpal. We were saying it should be CBI.
What if the Lokpal were given its own investigative
We
wing?
had said that.
That is another
what
parallel formula that has been proposed.
No, in fact, to share with you,
Yeah.
in August, the bill said Lokpal will have its own investigative
Yes.
machine. We were happy with that.
Yes.
The only confusion was that would there be two agencies now, CBI also
As well
and
as
Lokpal also.
Yes.
So when we had informal discussions with the government said that we would take away all the anti-corruption work of CBI and give it to Lokpal.
Yeah.
It was a fair. Now when we are taking a look at the bill, we are quite shocked to see that Lokpal's investigating powers and investigating agency has been taken away.
So you're saying that it would be an acceptable formulation if the Lokpal were to have its own investigative department,
Yes.
and Prevention of Corruption Act under jo cases aate hain, they would be given to Lokpal. And the CBI would carry on its parallel track independently.
Independently or non-anti-corruption.
On the non-anti-corruption cases.
We have no problem.
You are correct in saying that that is a formulation that many expected would make its way in. But some parliamentarians have raised concerns. Even, for example, the CPI among them. D. Raja has said, who should the CBI report to? This is a genuine question. It's a genuine question.
Yes.
Some people have suggested another formula. They're saying the CBI could report to Parliament. They could report, for example, to a parliamentary panel that also has opposition representation or a semi-constitutional authority. Would that be an acceptable formula?
You see, let me just first explain what is the Lokpal that we have conceived, what we have in mind.
Yeah.
We are not creating a new body. We were saying that CBI was supposed to do the anti-corruption work of the central government, but CBI has two problems. One is CBI is not independent of the government. So make CBI completely independent.
Yeah.
Second problem was CBI is completely understaffed, so give the autonomy to CBI to take care of its own.
Yeah.
Now when you make CBI independent, you have to make it accountable to someone.
Yeah.
Now they are saying make it accountable to the parliament. Fair enough. But what we were saying is that rather than CBI being headed by just one director who can tomorrow become a dictator, let there be an 11-member body of Lokpal.
Yeah.
And that 11-member body, the CBI director could report to, and they can in turn report to the parliament. Fair enough. We want this body to be directly accountable to the parliament. We want this body to be accountable to the elected representatives of the. We have no problem with that. But this is the architecture that was there in my mind that makes CBI independent. Put these 11. If you take out CBI, there's nothing left in Lokpal.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.